What better way to herald the arrival of Borderlands 3 than a funky organ solo from a giant man-bat? A giant man-bat who then fights you to the death, armed with a sound visualizer for a shield and in an arena lined with exploding sound systems. It's big, it's brash, it's quite Borderlands. And it's good to see Gearbox finally got here. When asked about making a third game in 2014, Gearbox president / weird magician man Randy Pitchford said, "When you think of what Borderlands 3 should be, it should be massive. It should be bigger and better than Borderlands 2. It should carry forward the story. It would have to be a next-gen game and a current-gen game if it was coming at any time in the reasonably near future." He fails to mention fighting a lunatic dressed as a giant bat. But now that it's nearing, is there evidence of Borderlands making that massive leap? We got to try a few characters out in an early demo to bring you some impressions. This is Rock Paper Shotgun, and these are the 7 best new features in Borderlands 3. And you'll be glad to hear this video is entirely claptrap free. This dying goon knows the score.
My last breath, I curse claptrap!
Oh, and thanks to Logitech G and the G432 7.1 surround sound gaming headset for sponsoring this video. To check out the tech behind the G432, click the link in the description. The first thing that jumps out isn't the sexiest of features. In fact, it's more of a collection of tiny tweaks, the quality of life improvements that make the game feel buttery smooth under your thumbs. Things like clambering up on platform edges, giving you that extra speed and flexibility to throw yourself around arenas, or sliding into a crouch. Yes, Borderlands has a bum slide. And who doesn't love a good bum slide? Just don't skid your cheeks through radioactive material. This is a new damage type that irradiates enemies and causes them to explode, spreading radiation to other enemies. It would devastate your ass. It's a quicker feeling game then, and one that encourages you to play a bit faster with other tweaks. If you fail to grab a piece of loot, or it lands out of reach, you can leave it behind, safe in the knowledge it can be reclaimed at Lost and Found in your home-based spaceship. Also, you don't have to faff with ammo vending machines. One button tap will replenish all your ammo in one transaction. And even though we don't see it in our demo, we're told that NPC allies will be able to revive you, so you're not just reliant on earning a second win when you're bleeding out on the floor. All small things, sure, and things you'd expect any shooter in 2019 to have, but anything that greases the wheels of the endless cycle of killing and looting is to be welcomed. Let's go from small features to a big feature, a 10-foot tall feature in fact, and one equipped with a variety of deadly arms. This is Iron Bear, the mech suit that acts as the action skill for the new hero Moze. Action skills, for the unfamiliar, are your ultimate abilities, the things that the 4-player characters whip out when they want to do serious damage. The big difference this time is each hero has 3 action skills to swap between, each heading up the trio of skill trees the game has always had. In Moze's case, the 3 skills are 3 different weapon arms to attach to Iron Bear, so you can have a V35 semi-automatic grenade launcher littering the battlefield with more uncontrollable explosives. Throw in a skill that causes fire damage with splash damage and you get a barbecue going in no time. Or maybe you prefer the burst of precision of the railgun, a single burst of shocking pain. It's paired with skills that boost shields and boosts damage when Moze has shields, which is a wise combo. Or you can opt for the minigun, for sustained fire but a chance to overheat. If you get the skill that refuels the Iron Bear with each kill, you've got more time to cool off and get back to your killing. This is all great for 2 reasons. 1, when you equip the weapon you get to see your little holographic robot demonstrate the weapon, just in case you missed the point. And 2, you can mix and match 3 weapons between your 2 mech arms. If you want a grenade and a railgun combo, knock yourself out. Want to fill the room with bullets? Miniguns it is. Get down into the next tier of skills, which we didn't, and you can unlock even more arms. A flamethrower, a missile launcher and a giant robotic punch. I'm getting serious Titanfall flashbacks, which you'll agree are the best kind of flashbacks. Gearbox are keen to emphasise that your version of a hero can be that much more different than a friend's version. One look over the skill tree and you begin to see all kinds of different Iron Bears evolving. If only we weren't stuck in a 10-minute demo. For another example of customisable action skills, we switch over to Amara, who is a new Siren character and boasts all manner of psychic smackdowns. Again, she has 3 powers. Phase Cast blasts out an astral projection that harms everything it goes through. I would talk more about this, but we tried it precisely one time and then switched to the phase slam because who doesn't like to fall to earth like a tiny, angry meteorite? Yes, the phase slam is for people who like to make an entrance. Of course, attention seekers don't last long in a world where the attention they receive is mostly from bullets. So it makes sense to pair this with brawl skills that increase damage the closer you are and improves health and regen. Finally, she has Phase Grasp, which on paper is an awesome ghost fist that bursts from the ground and locks an enemy in place, letting you pummel them without repercussions. Problem is, it doesn't work on boss characters like Mouthpiece, so instead of magic psychic prisons, it just does some damage instead. Apologies for this. What lends her moves a bit more spice is the ability to charge any of the action skills with an elemental energy. At this point in the game, we've only unlocked the shock flavour, though looking down the trees you can see fire and corrosive abilities waiting to be unlocked. On top of this, you have skill augmentations which fit into this slot. These are available for all 3 heroes revealed so far, and are yet another level of customization. With Amara, for example, you can tweak skills so they cause confusion and turn enemies to your side or create singularities that suck in enemies. Of course, all this is way beyond our level 6 character. The character we spent the least time with is Zane, a master of gadgets who can play very differently based on which toys he has to hand. All like Moze's Iron Bear, you can equip 2, although this does sacrifice Zane's grenade slot. We saw a lot of Zane videos after the game reveal, so we didn't spend too much of our limited demo time with him. I suggest watching the Zane analysis from our chums at Eurogamer for more. Zane has a barrier that protects the flesh carrying behind it, but also amplifies the damage of any bullets you and friends shoot through it. You can even pick it up and carry it in a slightly reduced size. You can also create a clone which distracts enemies and shoots at them. If like us, you played a lot of Borderlands 2 solo and became reliant on Axton's turret to draw enemy fire away from you, the ghost clone might be your new best friend. You can also swap places with the clone for some fast teleporting around the battlefield. Finally, you have the Sentinel drone, which gets up in people's faces and can be ordered to attack specific targets. The point is, even the character we were least interested in testing still manages to branch off in intriguing directions, even this early in the skill tree. I like that action skills unlock from the off. You're thrown into more interesting decisions almost from the off, which is how it should be. While it'll take a few hours to properly drill into skill trees, weapons begin to pop up in your hands from the off. A big focus this time is on giving the world's different gun manufacturers more identity, such as exclusive features like the Hyperion weapons having a small shield when you aim down sights. Exactly the kind of smug add-on you'd expect from the corporation. But differences also extend to a general gun feel. The old world mechanical crunch of a Jacobs rifle should feel very different to the rasp of a rapid-fire Vladov. Talking to PC Gamer, designers say they've gone from using a pool of 300 weapon parts to build guns in the last game to over 1,000 here, ideally avoiding shared parts between manufacturers in the process. From this pool, we get billions of random loot spawns that you can expect from the game. Throw in alternative fire modes for many weapons and your arsenal can potentially double in size as you dig into secondary features. Oh, and it extends to grenades, where you get a lot more mix and match of characteristics, such as this bouncing grenade which plants a smaller explosive everywhere it lands. Throw into tight confines and you'll see the room light up with tiny blips counting down to extinction. And this is just a basic toy at the start of the game. The star of our demo is the Tedior. For newcomers, this is a brand of weapon that doubles as a thrown weapon. Instead of reloading, you chuck it away and generate a new weapon in your hands. Throwing a gun and seeing it explode into a cluster of tiny homing missiles is especially tasty. Although we were sad we didn't get to see one of their new walking guns that sprouts legs and charges into battle when thrown. I mean, tiny homing missiles are cool, but I want a gun I can take for a walk in the local park. And while on the subject of loot, another great idea, but impossible to show in single player footage, is the introduction of loot instancing. Where in the previous games, co-op players would be competing for the same loot drops, fine with friends, less so with a gun-guzzling rando, in Borderlands 3, every player has their own instance of loot, so everyone has a chance to collect everything that drops. What's more, each player's game adjusts to their specific level, so if my level 5 character picks up a level 5 shotgun, your level 15 character will find a level 15 shotgun in the same place. Same applies to enemies, they will be a suitable level for everyone playing, so you can enjoy a co-op game even if someone is much further ahead than you. Of course, some people like the old rhythms, the squabble for loot and the ability to team up a mismatched team and use a powerful character to drag a low level character through a high level area for quick XP. You'll still be able to do this using the game's classic mode. This particular demo is taken from early on, it's the third story mission in the game. We're taking out a propaganda station, the Holy Broadcast Center, on Ascension Bluff. Religion has arrived in Borderlands in the form of a vault hunting cult called the Children of the Vault, who are led by Troy and Tyrene Calypso. They're meant to be a parody of obnoxious gaming influences, so they say things like,
"Oopsie, looks like we've got a technical issue, but don't worry, we'll post the welcome vid later along with some new Let's Plays. Signing off for now, don't forget to like, follow, and obey."
They have none of the bumbling charm of British video game video makers. I'm not sure their writing currently lands for me. It's a pretty broad target and lacks the delicious smugness of Handsome Jack's dickish personality. Borderlands needs a villain you love to hate, where the Calypsos just seem like everyday assholes, but time will tell. What they and their quest do achieve, however, is giving Borderlands 3 a reason to leave Pandora for star systems unknown, all in the search for new vaults. It's a race to claim them, with you getting your very own ship, the Sanctuary 3, to explore distant planets. For this demo, we are stuck in the familiar surroundings of Pandora, although the giant exploding sound systems do give the area challenges and a flavour of its own, but I am excited to see where the game takes us. To be honest, it wasn't like Pandora limited creativity in Borderlands 2. The self-contained areas are as varied as any adventure, but I'd love to see distant worlds maybe introduce new mechanics or challenges so that they don't just feel like it could be happening on Pandora. I also hope the quick travel system works between planets, because as cool as the warp drive animation is, I do not want to be watching that every time I nip back to Pandora. It's easy to say that Borderlands 3 is more of the same, but it's really a question of how much more. Layer up all that extra customization and multiply it by 4 co-op buddies, and we're talking about an astonishing potential for destruction and visual chaos, which is where the series really comes alive. Playing alone, low level is not the best way to stretch the game, so we'll have to wait for a meatier hands-on to see if it comes together. And thanks again to Logitech G for sponsoring this video. Featuring 50mm audio drivers, a 6mm mic and DTS Headphone X 2.0 surround sound technology under the hood, the G432 headset immerses you in the action and ensures you'll always be heard for a complete gaming experience. Find out how to order yours by following the link in the description. And if you have any questions about Borderlands 3, pop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. And while you're here, why not give the video a like, if you liked it, and think about subscribing to Rock Paper Shotgun, and do check out our other recent previews. If you like guns, we've got good stuff on Doom Eternal and Wolfenstein Youngblood. Thanks for watching and hopefully see you soon.